Hello and welcome everybody who's listening in to this interview. As you know, it's part of a series, the Meet the Team, so you can put personalities and faces to the names and bring the biogs and the blogs to life. I'm Dawn Campbell, the Business Director at the IAPC&M, and today I'm delighted to be with Charlotte Rose Keating. Hello, Charlotte.
Hi, Dawn. How are you?
Very good, thank you. And you can hear by Charlotte's beautiful dulcet tones, she's from Ireland. So Charlotte is our resolution and relationship manager. And as you can see from the screen, she is our main point of contact for any complaints. Luckily, we don't have many, but occasionally there's a misunderstanding about certification versus accreditation and things like that. It doesn't tend to get much more serious than that. But before we dive in, and I should say that Charlotte is, as it says on the screen, an APC accredited practitioner coach, certified trainer. So I always like to start these sessions, Charlotte, with a transpersonal coaching question, which I think sets the scene nicely. And that is, outside of work, I mean, I know, but the viewers don't, what makes your heart sing?
Oh, well done. So many things. I suppose you could sum it all up by saying outside of work, it's new experiences. New experiences, having adventure. It's one of my core values, adventure, actually. And that's something that really makes my heart sing. So just whether it is far-flung destination, going on a hike somewhere, or literally going out to the back garden. Because that all feeds in then to one of my other core values, which is creativity. And I absolutely, as you can see from the slide there, I do professional acting. I'm also in the process of writing, developing a novel. So all of these things, I think, they all shape me into the person I am and bring me a lot of joy.
And there's comedy in there as well, isn't there?
Oh, there sure is the bit of the Irish charm, the Irish humor. Doesn't humor make everything sit a little bit
Yeah.
easier? So, actually, it was probably 10 years ago this summer. A
Wow.
group of us performed in the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. We took a show called The Crack Was Mighty, A History of Ireland. So I did a bit of writing for that. So that was my first experience with a bit of comedy. And then last year, when I was based in London, I was lucky to have the opportunity to do a proper stand-up comedy course that resulted in me taking to a stage in London to do my first stand-up set. So yeah,
You
a
know
bit
what,
of
Charlotte?
comedy.
I think I'm one of those people who would say I'd rather die than get up on stage and do that. I mean, you are so brave, and I'm assuming it's your material, you know it, but it takes a huge amount of courage, I think, to get up there and be that vulnerable, doesn't it?
Definitely in ways, and I suppose it ties into that bit of I suppose I'm a bit of an adrenaline junkie, so
That's what I
it
was
ties
thinking.
into that. But to be honest, there's been some experiences I've had recently that have been more terrifying than getting up on stage in front of a group of people. And I suppose with comedy, you're almost expecting to get heckled. And I found recently with some other groups of people that I've been working with, maybe in a more corporate setting, their response has been probably more intimidating sometimes than a
Yeah.
comedy audience. So it was just interesting to see that kind of that difference. But absolutely loved it and would do the comedy again in a heartbeat. So definitely need to work on new material and find some new stages. I have a fair few friends in comedy that are on the circuit. So we'll see now if they can maybe set me up with a nice gig, hopefully.
Okay. And I know that you've been in one of my favorite programs on television. Tell me a bit more about that.
Oh, yes. Again, so good few years ago now, I had a lovely experience working as a background actor on Vikings. And then that led to me getting a featured role in one of the episodes. And I was the envy of all the other ladies on set, walking down this pier the whole day, doing all these retakes after a battle scene with the lovely Ragnar and Athelstan. So it
Gosh.
was fantastic time, really great people and lovely cast and crew. So everybody just worked really, really well together and just such fond memories.
I bet. Well, I mean, all of that I would have thought makes doing a corporate bid or a corporate presentation so easy. But as you say, it can still be pretty scary, can't it? What about when you're dealing
Again,
with complaints with, I know they're far and few between, but what sort of complaints do we get? And how do you go about ascertaining not who's right and who's wrong, but how do you get to the bottom of it and mediate on behalf of the member and the complainant?
so there's quite a variety of different things that might come up. So we've got some of the examples listed on the website under the compliance side of things on our IAPC&M website. So some of the complaints mightn't actually be complaints. They may be some certain queries that we can point people in the right direction. Sometimes there's been queries or complaints in relation to wording that's been used on a website. Maybe people feel that they might have been misled in relation to a certain product or service that they've purchased. But again, there's lots of different scenarios that we've tried to capture that have happened that are on the website. So if you'd like to have a look through those and get a feel for the kind of things that come up. But I suppose no matter what comes up, it's recognizing that my role, as we see there, it's being that point of contact. So if a member of the public has a concern or a complaint against any one of our accredited individuals or training providers, or indeed the IAPC&M as an organisation itself, that's what we're here for. And vice versa, we're also here to support our members, our accredited members, our individuals and training providers with certain issues that they may have and they may have with members of the public as well. So in effect, I basically act as a form of mediator. So I'm
Yeah,
working
that's
with
what I was thinking.
parties. Yeah, so I'm working with the parties and talking through things with them and then exploring the ways that we can really, I suppose, best come to a resolution, and ideally a resolution that's timely and also that has favourable outcomes while also maintaining positive relationships as well. Because as you said, sometimes it may be the case that it is a misunderstanding, a miscommunication as well. So I suppose this whole service, it really is one of the
Mm,
reasons why accreditation is so important, because it
yeah.
supports, as we said, our accredited individuals and also their clients and members of the public. And as per our code of conduct, all of our accredited members must have in place their own complaints procedure. So it is, once the complaints procedure is exhausted by the parties involved, then they may refer to us. We're the next step. And as I said, all those next steps are detailed in further detail on our website. So we've got 3 complaints procedures that people can view there. We've got our complaints against accredited individuals, complaints against accredited training providers, and then finally what to do if the complaint is in relation to the IAPC&M. So these procedures, they're quite detailed and they go through what the IAPC&M can and cannot support you with, and also the steps involved and the timelines. So just setting out those various expectations for people to follow. So quite a comprehensive guide there.
Mm. Yeah, it's lovely for you to say that out loud. I mean, obviously, I've read it. We've talked before. We attend the same team meetings, but it really clarifies to me why your title is Resolution and Relationships Manager, as opposed to Complaints Manager or something like that, because it's so much more complex than just putting in a complaint. So I get that. I mean, as the business development person for the IAPC, and when I'm talking to prospective members, I'm saying that being accredited with us is another level of protection for you and your clients or your students if it's a training provider, and that we do mediate once your own complaints procedure has been exhausted. So if we're not in a position to assist either party, I presume the next step is then the client, the coaching industry ombudsman, and then if they can't help, it's Brussels, which is, you know, what I've read about with a certain few cases in the previous years. Is that the right
Yes, and
chain?
we
Yeah.
absolutely done. We've outlined that in the procedures as well, and also just alternatives that you may wish to take. So maybe it's to do with the ASA, the advertising standards. I believe it's authority or agency. So we do point you in the direction of other areas as well. So we do try to offer as much support as we
Yeah.
can. And sometimes it's just having that ear to listen, or have your issue heard by somebody else, and to know that there is somebody that you can go to, you can get the ball rolling with. You can see, okay, I didn't realize that I have to go back to my accredited provider, or the individual I'm being coached or mentored by, and go through their complaints procedure. So it's just sometimes pointing people in the right direction. And that's,
Yeah.
again, the lovely thing about having a professional body like the IAPC&M. You've got that place, that community to go to,
Mm.
that's supporting its members and the public. And I know we say that throughout our website, but we don't, it's not just words. It's something that we do live by and that we're all passionate about. And one of the reasons, certainly why I volunteered as well, to make that difference in our community of coaches and in the greater community worldwide.
Yeah, definitely. And it's that transparency, as you say, that anybody coming to the directory knows that everybody has a contract and with a complaints procedure. It's all very transparent, fair, ethical, above board, and easy to navigate. You're not searching for it lost in somebody's website or something. It's impenetrable or whatever. And I
Yeah.
think that's really important as well.
And that's what we've tried to do a lot on over the last year. That was one of the work in progress, because obviously as people watching, I'm sure, may know that we're all volunteers, and it just took a bit of time to put together complaints procedures that were thorough, that were based on our experience of having complaints come in, and trying to cater for those different scenarios, and again, that were transparent and easy to follow and easy to find. So
Yeah.
again, if anybody has any feedback on those, please let me know, because they're only up quite recently. So it would be great to know if there's anything else that we can improve on there, because it will be an ongoing work in progress, things to add to, I'm sure, as different
Yeah,
situations may arise. But
of
hopefully
course.
it covers the majority of things right now.
Yeah, it looks pretty comprehensive to me, but I do concur. The website in its entirety is a bit like the Fourth Bridge. The minute it's finished painting, you have to go back and start again at the beginning. It's just
Yeah.
a work in progress,
Well,
isn't it?
keep me in a job, because we're not getting that many complaints in, touch wood. It's good to just look at new ways of doing things and making sure that everything is accessible.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Charlotte. That was lovely to spend some time with you and put that into context and find out a little bit more about you. As I say, you don't get many complaints, so I know you don't have a great deal of contact with the members, but I want them to be reassured that there is a person behind the name and the title, and now they know who you are and what you do and how you do it. They'll feel encouraged to reach out and speak to you if they need to.
Absolutely, that's what we're here for. So thank you so much for having me on, Dawn, and I hope it's beneficial to all those watching.
Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you.